had a bit of an epiphany the other day when I was cooking our meal. Um, we on our last session, we were waiting to complete our sort of discharge, the paperwork. So we were sitting in the waiting area, waiting for surveying to come through and complete our discharge. And um, there's a young lad that comes in. I've seen him before. It may have been that I've seen him when Mark was going to physio last year. I'm not sure whether I've seen him this year. I saw him once, obviously, on this day. He comes in an ambulance on a stretcher, and he's got his head down and he's got headphones on and sort of straggly hair. And you don't stare, but you don't really see him. You just see this boy coming through. And as we were sitting waiting to complete our paperwork, he drifted through with a Zimmer and a physio holding on to the Zimmer. I say drifted because I still can't quite picture what I saw, but he was not a lot taller than the Zimmer, and I'd say he was probably about 18 or 19, not a lot taller than the Zimmer, and sort of looked like he was floating. He must have been walking, but there was nothing of him. He was completely wasted, and it looked like he was sort of in rags. And I because I didn't stare, I have this sort of brief vision of him going through and thinking, fucking hell. Now he is probably 18, 19. I don't know. I don't know why I think he's that age. Might be a bit younger, could be a bit older, and is obviously very, very sick. And I don't know whether it's how he was born or whether he's got a wasting disease that's gradually killing him, or I don't know anything about how he ends up in this situation. But I saw the look on Mark's face and I know what was going on in my head, and I was thinking, fuck, my problems are nothing. My problems are absolutely nothing. And I obviously, we carried on and everything, and we mentioned it between us as we were leaving and talked about it. But actually, when I was cooking in the kitchen and doing stuff and thinking, I will not ever complain about being in pain. I won't ever feel sorry for myself. That's really hard not to do, but I will not feel sorry for myself because I'm 69. I've had my life. I've had a very good life. I'm still having a very good life. And he is, however old he is, and his life looks like it's probably shit. He comes in on a stretcher, goes home on a stretcher. I'm imagining he is bedridden or seat ridden. There's no way he is mobile. And what sort of life has he got? And he has, I hope he hasn't got a lot of life ahead of him, because imagine living the next 60 years in that way. I can't imagine it. So it just sort of brought me up and made me think, fucking hell, my problems are nothing compared to his, and I'm very lucky. And okay, so I've got hand pain, I've got pain sometimes. I can deal with it. I can take painkillers if I need them. I can get on with my life. I can go and cook. Rarely can I not go and cook. I haven't got cancer. I'm not on chemo. I've not lost a limb. Touch wood. I'm very lucky. So if you ever hear me complaining on here, tell me, remind me, because that was a bit of a wake-up call for me. And I recognise how lucky I am. I'm horrified that Time magazine have put Trump as Person of the Year, and there's a picture of him on the cover. Not only that, they fucking emailed me with it, and I don't subscribe to Time. I don't know why I got that. Really pissed off that came into my email. Yeah, God, Person of the Year. As somebody said on Blue Sky, they went through various people. It could be Zelensky, could be Person of the Year. He's still dealing with Russia. I watched it on YouTube a few days after the event, the opening ceremony. I think NBCC, whoever that is, did a recording, and it was had no commentary for the first hour because it was the dignitaries arriving. And I thought I'd watch out of interest, and I watched Macron and Bridget greeting people standing. They were undercover in a big plastic sort of a big plastic tent thing. You wouldn't call it a tent because it was big. Can't think of the words I want to use for it. But I watched that, and it looked like she was getting colder and colder, and she was on heels that nobody should walk on. I was watching her walking, and she must have such back problems because her walking's really weird on heels that are too high. And so I watched them greeting all the different dignitaries, and Macron's really friendly. He really knows how to be on the world stage, really welcoming, and that was nice to see. So I watched that. Didn't watch all of the service because it went on a bit, and it became a bit repetitive. But yeah, I just thought I'd watch a bit of it. Something else I was going to say. Oh, I know. So a few days ago, or I don't know how many days ago now, I moaned about, somebody wrote, how overwhelmed I felt, and how everything was like, oh, I can't do this, can't cope with that, that was obviously me on that day, and that does happen. Some days I feel completely overwhelmed, and that was how it was on that day. And since that day, I've got my affairs in order. Since that day, I've made a decision about moving banks, and we have an appointment with a bank in Memorial in January. And since that day, I've got on top of my paperwork. And since that day, I've done a lot of cooking. And since that day, I plan a lot of cooking in the future and feel ready to get on with it. So I'm quite happy about that. I probably need to remind myself that those days are a day normally. It's not the rest of my life. It's not, it's just that day is particularly how it is. So I'm so on top of my paperwork that the bank appointment's on the 7th of January, and we will need 3 months worth of bank statements, there's tax, I'm not going to call it a tax certificate because it isn't one, our tax thing, a bill showing where, proving our address, identity, and various other bits. And I've printed it all off, and it's already in a folder for the 7th of January. So that's how organised I am, and that's how I like to be. I suppose that's why it's so, I find it so difficult on days where I am not as organised as that, because I normally am an organised person. I ordered a phone charger, a multi, I don't know what you would call it. It's got 3 things on the end, so you can plug in 3 apparatus, your phone and my tablet and something else. I ordered it, and it was delivered yesterday. So I was looking forward to receiving that because I'd run over my phone charger. So we went to the post box because it said it's in your box. Went to the post box and it wasn't in there. And further investigation shows that I sent it to my son. And I went to order something this morning, and it defaulted to his address. So I obviously, in my chaotic day, on my chaotic day, got some stuff really wrong and made his address the default address, which is ridiculous. So he now owns a multi thing phone charger and I don't. So I've had to order another one for me. We've just given away some snow chains to someone who was asking for them on the free site. I suddenly remembered we got snow chains, but for a different car, so there was no way we would be using them again. And we only briefly used them one year when we travelled up and got caught in Rouen in snow. We have chosen since then not to travel up north between October and April to avoid hopefully being caught in snow. So we gave those away just now, so that's good. You can have those, we don't need them. And that's it really. Sun's going down. What is it? 4:20. Yep, everything's taking a long time to upload. The travel vlog, the road trip took a long time to upload. This will take a long time to upload. You'll probably get it tomorrow. Today's Friday. It feels like Saturday, but it's Friday. And it's been very cold. It's very cold overnight, and but it's warm indoors. I wasn't warm until about 2 hours ago, and then I've got a bit warm, which is why I'm now just in a t-shirt. Right, that's that. So, thanks for watching. See you next time. Take care, keep warm, keep well, keep healthy.